What's up? This is Alaric Ong, and today I'm here with Marcos Moura, and he's the co-founder of Amada Franchise Inc, a $120 million Entrepreneur 500 and Inc 5000 company. Okay, he's one of 3 Clickfunnels 2 Comma Club C award winners. Now, 2 Comma Club C award winners, there's only probably about 10 of them in the whole world. It's for people who have made more than $25 million through the Clickfunnels platform. Okay, and he's host of Born to Run It, and also a keynoter, influencer on franchising, high ticket, and LinkedIn marketing. Okay, he also got an MBA from the University of Southern California, and he loves talking about business, entrepreneurship, and everything. So today I brought him to the show. And what's up, Marcos? Maybe you can share more about your entrepreneurship journey. How do you get started, and how do you get to where you are today? Yeah.
Well, Alaric, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. Hey, I'm in Southern California. Where are you right now?
I'm in UK right now, but I'm from Singapore. Yeah.
Well, I love that we're connecting here on this Zoom call. Thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it. In fact, I sent a little video to Russell Brunson yesterday. The award for the
wow.
It just came. You know, it's pretty cool, right?
So wait, so this is 100 million, or how many is this?
That one is for 100 million, and it's still on the floor. I feel bad because I haven't put it up in my office yet, my home office. But it just arrived, and so there's the other one there.
That's for 10 million.
I've got the other one there that I
wow.
Still. But that's been really cool. I've been really proud of that, you know, because it wasn't that we were trying to get the award, but we were just so obsessed with our business and obsessed with growing it and helping people. It's been an amazing journey, and we're super proud of it.
For that, was it a $100 million award, or was it a $25 million award, or how much do you have to make in sales in order to get that award? The 2 Comma Club.
That one's 100 million. Yeah, no, that
wow.
one is for 100 million. Yeah.
So $100 million cool in sales.
Is they did it by 25, 25, 25, 25. Wow. Right. And so there's a lot of folks that got this award, and they have to go and earn the discs, but we were able to earn all 4 of them. This was in, gosh, we actually got the award at ClickFunnels in November of 19, but because of the pandemic, they really had a hard time getting these out to us, but we're so happy that they did. Wow. You know, I think the world of Russell and Dave and Todd and those guys at ClickFunnels, we have learned an incredible amount from them, you know, and what's interesting is I don't know that our company would look like it does today if it wasn't for what we learned from Russell and ClickFunnels and those guys. So they've had a huge influence on us.
So you made $100 million in sales. Okay, take me through the process from how you started from 0 all the way to where you are now. Yeah. What do you sell? How do you sell it? What's the funnel you're using? Yeah.
So I'll tell you that what's interesting about that is that actually in 2008, I lost everything. So in the mortgage meltdown of 2008, I was a mortgage broker back then, and my company went completely bankrupt. I had several homes, I had several cars. We were doing really well. And that was something that affected a lot of people throughout the world, right? 2007, 2008, when the mortgage meltdown happened. And I was one of them. I actually had to move in with my in-laws, and I was just devastated by the economic meltdown. And so it took a long time for me to be able to reinvent myself. But we started franchising Amada Senior Care in 2012. And the company is a senior care franchise, meaning that we take care of seniors in their homes. So we send caregivers to seniors' homes. And you know, one thing that we did back in 2012 when we started to franchise our business is we really became really obsessed with our audience and who it was that we're trying to attract. And I hear a lot of businesses today saying, you know, what I really want to do is I want to start a marketing company, or I want to start a restaurant, or I want to become a celebrity chef. Why not have a lot of followers on Instagram? And they have these dreams, but they're not obsessed with the dream. They don't eat, sleep, and dream about what it is that they really want. And I got to tell you, when we started franchising this company back in 2012, myself and I have 4 business partners, we really obsessed about it. We thought about nothing else. And I think that's something that I really want entrepreneurs to realize, is that you can't just dabble in something. You can't just sort of try it out, right? You can't try it for 3 months and go, this isn't working, I'm going to go do something else. So many entrepreneurs do that. They start something, it doesn't quite work out, they start something else, and they start something else, and they keep going from thing to thing. It takes obsession. And it's so important that you become obsessed with the business you're trying to build. There's no other way. And there was no, quite frankly, it wasn't morning secrets, it wasn't goal setting, it wasn't prayers. It was just obsession. It was all we thought about.
So how many franchisees do you have for your business? Yeah.
So we have 120 locations throughout the United States. And last year we generated about 120 million in gross revenues. And
wow. In 1 year.
And what's that?
In 1 year, in 365 days,
in 1 year,
120 million. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But here's what's great is all of those revenues are tied to taking care of seniors and making people feel good. And so we help people get dressed in the morning. We help people eat. We help people get out of their homes and walk around. Even with COVID, we're there to help these people. And it's amazing to think that much in revenues is generated to be able to take care of other people. And so it's something that we're really, really proud of and very thankful and blessed that we're in that type of business.
Can you take me through the numbers? Like, okay, how much does a customer pay you, and like what's the service that they do? Like maybe a few of your offers, and then like how much does a franchisee pay you, and like how do you end up with 120 million? That's a lot of money. That's like, yeah.
Well, here's what's funny about that is that it wasn't always like that, right? When we started the company in 2012, we had two franchisees, just two. Okay. And they were brand new. So in 2012, there was no revenues almost, right? And we were living pretty, I was in a tiny little home, and with beat up cars, and it was humble beginnings. And what I think what people don't see is that those humble beginnings is what starts you. And we kept growing and growing and growing. So and there's also a curve, right? So in 2012 there was 2. In 2013 we added, I think, like 6, and in 2014 we added 12. And so the numbers keep compounding. And what's interesting about the way we get to 120 million is really, especially in franchising, our goal is we help other entrepreneurs create revenues, right? Okay. And so we're not successful unless those other 120 million franchisees become successful. I'll give you an example. Our very first franchisee who joined us, he paid $45,000 to join our franchise. So a lot of people who are out there who are high, what's that?
Yeah. Keep going. I didn't say anything.
Yeah. So a lot of people who sell high ticket, right? So a lot of people that have high ticket offers, that's really what a franchise is. So he paid $45,000 to join our franchise back in 2012. In 2019, his name is Ken Jensen. He's a family friend now. He has 10 kids. Wow. Ken Jensen has 10 kids. It's crazy.
10 kids.
So Ken has been building his business, and in 2019, he generated $6.1 million in gross billings from his company.
Wow. In 1 year, or from 2012 to 26 million in 1 year?
In 2019, he generated 6.1 million in gross revenues. So, for a lot of coaches out there, when you bring somebody into your high ticket offer and they pay you a lot of money to learn your knowledge and learn your system, you better ensure that they become successful.
Yes,
because
definitely.
If you make that person successful, and if they work really hard, of course, then you can help other people do it as well. And that's really all we've done. Is over the years, we have helped people like Ken Jensen build their businesses to multi-million-dollar businesses.
Wow.
You can't do it alone. Listen, nobody does I would say nobody even does 10 million. Nobody does 50 million. No one does over 100 million by themselves. You look at, we just talked about Russell Brunson. He has hundreds of thousands of people that sign up for ClickFunnels.
Correct.
And then once they sign up, look at what he does. He is obsessed. Russell is obsessed with making sure that you become successful using ClickFunnels.
Correct.
So you got to be obsessed, man.
Be obsessed with the customers, right? And okay, so is that a like, do most of your franchisees make millions of dollars, or is he an outlier?
Yeah, good question. So I was just talking to our VP of Finance yesterday. Out of our 120 locations, 46 of them are billing over $80,000 a month. So about $80,000 a month is where you get to about $1 million, right? And so so our goal then is not only to get them to, so those 46 are there. Now our goal is, how do we get those 46 to 2 million, to 3 million, to 5 million? And then how do we help Ken Jensen, the guys that are doing 6 million, 7 million, how do we help them to get to 8 to 9 to 10 million? So it never stops, right? It never stops. We're never satisfied with 1 million, right? We want our franchise partners, and they want to keep going and keep building. And that takes time, right? That will take time. But that's where, again, our team is obsessed with helping these entrepreneurs grow bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, help me understand your business model a little bit more. So so they help see, like, what's the service or the product that they are actually selling? And also, how do they manage to get the lead? Is it through ClickFunnels or through Facebook ads, or maybe let's just do one question at a time. How do you what's the product or service that they sell first?
Well, so what's interesting is in a franchise you have two businesses. So think about what's a very prominent franchise that comes to your mind when you think of a franchise? There you go.
McDonald's.
Yep. So McDonald's is in 3 different businesses.
Okay.
McDonald's is in the food business. They're in the real estate business.
Yeah. And
they're also in the franchising business. And so every franchise is sort of like that. Okay. And by the way, this is an interesting conversation. Alaric, what's I think was interesting about, a lot of entrepreneurs don't understand what business they are in, the actual business they are in. So I want to ask you, what business are you in?
So on the surface, I'm a training business, right? I'm a coaching business. I got like 1,300 paid clients, so I coach them on marketing and sales. But back end, I'm actually in the human resource business. Yeah. So my main business is, after I train people, and then I have all this human capital, right? Where like I can literally scale any business, because like, if let's say I need an ad account, okay? If let's say my ad account gets shut down, I've got 1,300 paid clients that can lend me their ad account. Of course, a profit share or something. If I need to look for a sales closer, I can just shout out to my community and say, hey, I need a sales closer, and straight away there'll be 10 people who volunteer. So I'm in the human resource business. Yeah.
So in the human resource business, and you train. So people come to you, they pay you money, so you train them how to do something.
Yes, on how to do marketing and sales. Basically, like how to run Facebook ads, how to sell better, how to sell high ticket, how to sell low ticket. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you really understand the business that you're in. And what's interesting is much like me, you are trying to find the ideal people that you can help. Yes. And what I'm assuming is you've had people join your movement who did nothing with it. And you have people who have joined your movement and have gone on to be very successful.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And what's interesting is that is our business. So one of our businesses is attracting the right client. We are in, like you said, we are in the business of finding the right entrepreneurs.
Okay.
That is a big business for us, because if we find the right entrepreneur, that entrepreneur will be able to take our system, take what we've developed, and become successful. And so that is one of our 2 businesses, right? Is finding the right entrepreneur. And that's actually the part that is my responsibility within our company, is finding those right entrepreneurs. And then the other business we are in is the senior home care business, which is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
All we really do is there are seniors all over the world that need
Mm-hmm.
help getting out of bed. They need help eating.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't actually take their spoon and feed themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
can't bathe by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They need help to sit down or to get up. So
Mm-hmm.
we send caregivers to their homes
Mm-hmm.
to help them do those activities.
Mm-hmm.
That's business number 2. So we really are in 2 businesses. And I think what's again, bringing back to people who have businesses that don't understand what business they're in, you would say, I'm so glad that you talked about the people
Mm-hmm.
more than you talked about Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or Instagram or building
Yeah.
following. That's maybe the business you're coaching, but really you are a coach, right?
Yeah.
You are a coach to other people. Your job is to make people successful. That's the business you are in. And then what they do is the secondary thing, right? It's a secondary business. So those are the 2 businesses that we are involved in. And let me tell you, our obsession was with finding the right entrepreneurs. And that's what Alaric, I think that's what so many people fail to do is if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you make a living from empowering other people,
Mm-hmm.
then you got to be really good at finding the right people, finding the right entrepreneurs to train. It's hard to do. It's hard to find the right people.
So how do you do that?
Okay. So very, very good question. Well, actually, hang on. So let me ask you this. How do you find people that come to your program, that come to your training? How do you do that?
So, okay, in the past, what I used to do was I have I sold 997 for 1-day course and then 1997 for 2-day course. And then after that, like that used to be my core offer. Like I didn't even have any upsells because I didn't have the mic. I didn't believe that people pay me high ticket for or maybe I didn't design a high ticket offer. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I started to understand the high ticket space. So I started coming with a $5,000 offer. But so it was like a 5-day mastermind. But I realized that a 5-day mastermind, people somehow don't really get results from a 5-day mastermind. Like they all, during the mastermind, they all would say that the value of the mastermind was more than $10,000. They all say, I have it on,
Oh, everybody, yeah.
But
and
3
you were
months down the
charging
road,
how much for that mastermind?
$5,000, yeah.
$5,000 for a 5-day.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Okay.
And so, but 3 months down the road, I know because I can look at their Facebook pages and everything. I know who's running ads, who's not, and I know that they are not really implementing. Like they won't complain to me because they know that I delivered the training and everything.
Right.
But
yes.
like deep down, I'm like, wow, they didn't take my knowledge and do it the right way, Yeah. So that's why right now I'm trying to shift to a one-to-one coaching kind of model which is delivering amazing results, but it's not very scalable in the sense that right now I'm charging people like maybe $5,000 for 3 months or maybe $10,000 for 3 months, right? Depending on what's the deliverables. And one-to-one coaching so far has given a lot of results. It's just that I know it's not very scalable, and like my revenue honestly has dropped, but my clients' results have increased. So now I'm thinking, okay, so right now I have a $500 for 1-day course where I introduce them to the 1-day like the 3-month program or something. Where, they book a call and then they apply for the 3-month program. But I'm thinking of just doing away with the $500 cost and just from a webinar straight to a $10,000 program or $5,000 program, so that a more direct approach. Yeah. So I'm still figuring out the best method for me. Yeah.
So I love that you went through all the ways that you're trying to build your business.
Yeah.
And the different things that you've learned over the years of, is it one-on-one, is it group, is it mastermind? How much do I charge? So 2 things I wanted to say about that. One is I think a lot of people need to give themselves permission to charge a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't feel good about charging a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a tough thing because you can't be delusional, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just think that I'm going to charge $10,000 when I haven't even gotten somebody to pay me $1,000 yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so it all comes down to the audience that you're trying to serve. I think that a lot of businesses sometimes don't focus on who is the number one type of person that if they take my product, my service, my coaching, my system, they will be able to absolutely change their lives. And I don't know that businesses spend enough time on that alone. And I'll give you an example. Nike, that we all know. Have you read Shoe Dog, the book of Phil Knight?
I haven't read Shoe Dog, but I read a lot of other business books. About Nike, about Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So when Nike started, this is in the 60s, Phil Knight was a runner. He was a runner in college. And he ran for this coach that was a very famous coach who took a lot of running, and I don't remember his name, but he took a lot of kids that ran for him, and those kids went to the Olympics. And they were in the northwest part of the United States. So Phil Knight was a runner. And what he realizes is that there is, and I think it was a Japanese shoe. There was a Japanese shoe that wasn't in the United States yet. It was like the Tiger or something like that. And he's like, this is a really good shoe. And it was a shoe for runners. But it was a very specific type of runner. And what Phil Knight believed is that if he could take that one shoe and give it to this one type of runner, it would make these runners would run better. And he was obsessed with the idea. He believed in it. He knew that these guys would appreciate the shoes. So he went to Japan. He spoke to the company that had these shoes. He was a kid. He was young, you know. And he goes and he buys a bunch of these shoes, and he comes back and he sells them in the US. And that's how he starts. But what I love about Phil Knight's story is that it was one product for one type of person. And he was 100% sure that that one person would see the revolution and that they would become successful using that product. And they had that one shoe for a very, very, very long time. So my point is that what I love entrepreneurs, what I'd like entrepreneurs to do is sometimes you focus so much on your products and your services and how you're going to do it and how much should I charge, but you don't spend enough time thinking about the audience that you're trying to sell and how to pinpoint them. So, for example, with our company, with Amada, we needed to sell a franchise that costs $45,000. Today it's $48,000.
Okay.
Now it's $48,000 to acquire our franchise. So I could sell that to anybody who's got the money, right? I just go out there and start advertising. You got 48 grand? Come on over. You know, we'll take your money and we'll teach you how to do this. I could also go, well, let me try to sell it to people who are interested in franchises.
Okay.
That's a big audience.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people interested in franchises. But the problem is that's people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
So what we decided is we said the person who, if they buy our franchise, will become extremely successful is somebody who is in medical sales.
Medical sales, okay.
Medical sales. Now, I'm not saying that that's who you should go after. If you're listening to this, I'm not saying that's how you should go after. But think of how specific that is.
Yeah.
So then we said, I want people who are in medical sales, who are men, and there was a reason that we wanted to go after males at first.
Okay.
And over the age of 40. And in North America. And so what that did for us is it allowed us to, everything we wrote, every video we did, every article we wrote, every email we wrote was to only this one person.
Wow.
This one type of entrepreneur, medical sales. So they worked for companies like Pfizer, Merck, Abbott, Stryker, companies like that. And we knew that if we attracted exactly that type of person, we had conviction. I knew that if that person quit their job, acquired our franchise, and worked really hard, they could build an empire. I had no doubt.
Okay.
None. So my opinion is that's the formula. Obsession.
Got it. With the customer.
Audience. You've got to drill down into the audience. You got to get really, really specific on whose life you want to change.
Yeah.
And then you can build a movement, my opinion.
Yeah. So what you said is exactly right. So for example, for me, like, okay, let's say if I build an automated webinar funnel for someone who already has a proven offer. So for example, like recently I helped my mom build. She already has a proven offer. She's making, with just the webinar alone, with just 50 leads, she made over $10,000 already, right? So she has a proven offer, and it's very easy for her to scale because she already knows how to sell. She already knows she already has a proven product. She just needs maybe a webinar funnel or a lead conversion mechanism, and she'll be good to go. Whereas when I spent, so it took me only 30 minutes to build the automated webinar funnel for her, and maybe 2 hours of her time to do the automated webinar. But after that, she can get results, you know? Whereas when I coach someone who is brand new, they've never done a business before, probably maybe working a job, I can spend the same time with them. I spend maybe half an hour a week. And the result at the end of the day is like maybe 3 clients, 5 clients, which to them might be a lot, like to them might be a pretty good result, but it's not enough for me to warrant charging them the price that I charge them.
Right.
Yeah, you get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not worth your time. It's just not worth your time because you want success.
Money. Yeah, it's not worth my time, and it's not worth their money as well. So like, you know, there's a demand and supply gap. Whereas if let's say like for my mom, it only took me 30 minutes to set up the webinar, just 30 minutes to set up the email sequences and everything. I host it on my platform, and she's able to get results automatically. So, but then again, when I do that, right, my audience shrinks down a lot. Like for example, for you, your audience shrinks down by a lot. So how do you sell $120 million if you can only target male and medical sales and 40 years old and above? How do you do that?
Yeah. So, and that I think is what a lot of entrepreneurs do, is they want to have a $10 million business someday, right? We all want to, and we want to be big names. We want to leave a legacy. And what that does, it makes us, when we start marketing, we go, then if that's the case, I've got to market to millions of people. I got to get my million, and you don't. What you need to do is you need to figure out, who are you going to sell your product to over the next 6 months, over the next 12 months? And when you think about just these next 6 months to 12 months, your brain starts to go, okay. I'm not talking about 10 years from now. I'm talking about, who is the ideal audience for me to sell something in the next 6 months? And then when you get an audience of maybe 10,000 people that are in that, or maybe 1,000 people that are in that, that's okay. Because your only goal right now is, how can I service those 1,000 people? Even 500 people. Listen, I've got ads that I do, and we use LinkedIn a lot. I've got ads that we do that only go out to 700 people because it's so targeted. But Alaric, think of when you're advertising to only 1,000 people, your message is much more targeted.
Yeah.
And it punches them in the face. That's what you want. If your message is going out to 1 million people, you have to be very general. You have to be generalized.
Yeah.
You have to kind of speak to all of them. I don't want to speak to everybody. I want to speak to that one person that when they hear my voice, it makes them stand up. It makes them go, wait, what? And it's so they can't help it but click on my ad. They're freaking out, right? Because I said something so impactful to them. So you got to niche down to your audience. Doesn't mean you're only going to sell to those people. Phil Knight didn't only sell running shoes. He had one shoe, but what that one shoe did is it allowed him to charge the right price to the right customer over and over and over again for 3, 4, 5 years. And then he's like, what if I introduced another shoe? And so they went after that audience. And now look at Nike, right? You know, decades later, they do everything: socks and shorts and hats, right? But you gotta focus on a very small, my opinion, focus on a small audience at first, and then build that bigger audience.
I think that's super amazing. Like coming from someone who has done $120 million, I would expect you to have a very general audience and a general offer. Like honestly, it blows my mind. Like how if you run it at only 700 people, there's no way you can build $120 million business. Yeah. So how do you do that? Yeah.
But then there's duplication, right? So duplication. So we empower that entrepreneur, and then that entrepreneur goes and builds their businesses, right? So that's the other thing too. I think coaches and trainers and even social media folks, I think what you need to figure out is, what is your continuation funnel? Because it's really nice to coach somebody and get $5,000. But the problem with the $5,000 is that it's a one-time thing. And you're going to have to find other people, and then other people, and then other people. And your business is difficult to scale because you don't have a continuation program. What I'd much rather see somebody do is, whatever you charge up front, is try to figure out, how can I support people long-term? How can I charge a monthly membership or a monthly fee or a success fee on what they do over time? Now, I will continue to support them. I'll continue to help them over the years. But I'd much rather see trainers and entrepreneurs create some kind of a licensing or franchise model to continue to earn money based on the productivity of those people that they've taught over the long term. And that's, I think, what has been successful about our model, is that we continue to earn royalties. We continue to earn revenues on the success of the people that we have gotten started. But we earn that. We continue coaching them. We continue training them. We continue long term. That's, I think, how you get to the big numbers, is you got to have what Russell calls your continuation funnel, or your continuation revenues off of the initial part.
So how do you charge them? Do you charge them a flat fee every month, or do you charge them like a percentage of a profit, or a revenue share?
A percentage of profit.
And how do you track that?
And there's lots. What's that?
How do you track that? How do you track how much of profit they make? You don't have their accounts, right? Do you?
Good question. So everyone is using our software to run the business. So we see the revenues. Yeah, we see the revenues.
Okay.
And so so you look at a McDonald's, right? All the McDonald's franchisees are using the same point of sale system, the same cash register, and all those revenues get reported back to McDonald's. And so you need to have a system to be able to track that. But there's lots of ways to do that. You could do it based on revenues. You could do equity, right? You could earn equity in their businesses if they are great businesses. You could have a flat fee. There's a guy in franchising. His name is Bedros Keuilian. And Bedros built a body fit boot camp. Oh, I hope I'm saying that right. It's a gym. It's a fitness gym. And what he did is he charges, I think it's $30,000 for you to join the franchise. And then he has a flat fee. I think it's $1,000 a month. Flat fee, $1,000.
So the initial is 30,000. The initial is 30,000, and then flat fee 1,000 a month. Okay.
Flat fee 1,000 a month. And I'll tell you, a lot of people told Bedros, $1,000 a month. That's not enough, Bedros. You got to charge your franchisees more money. And Bedros said, no, I just want to do $1,000. I want to make it flat, and I want to support them. I want to train them, and I want to build thousands of these. And what he realized is that even at just $1,000 a month, that if he could build thousands, that he would be uber successful. And he's been able to do that. He's built, I think, I don't know if he's over 1,000 yet. I think he might be. And COVID has been tough, but he's an amazing leader, and he's helping those businesses become successful. So you don't have to charge people a fortune, right? But man, it goes back to what we talked about. You got to be obsessed about their success.
Yeah.
And then they will, I know for Bedros, I wouldn't say not everybody's going to be happy, but the vast majority of the people that are in his franchise are happy to pay that $1,000 a month because they get value. They get value from Bedros, the coaching, the systems, the motivation, the know-how that he continues to provide for them. Give yourself permission to do that, Alaric. You have to, knowing your value and to have a flat fee, a membership fee that people pay you continuously is worth it. Is worth it to you and it's worth it to them.
So do you custom build the software like for your own business? Okay.
No, we didn't. Only because there was good software out there already.
Okay.
So that's what's interesting. Actually, really interesting you should ask that, Alaric, because we thought about it and we almost did it. But we went back to what business are we in? And we looked at each other and we said, are we in the software business? And we all looked at each other and said, none of us know anything about software. We're not software guys.
Yeah.
And so there's a North Star for us, which our North Star is find the right entrepreneurs, help them become successful in our business.
Got it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so when we thought about building our own, what's that?
That's my same North Star. That's what I aim to do as well.
That's
empower as many people to become the best versions of themselves, like especially entrepreneurs, help them scale their business. Yeah.
That's it. Now, if our industry did not have software, then we'd have to figure something out, right? But thankfully in our industry, there was software that was good enough that we could use and customize for our business. So no, we, as of today, none of our software is custom or proprietary, but how we use it, how we use the software is proprietary to us.
I see. So, so as a $120 million company, right? Take me through the life, a day in your life. Like, how's a day in your life? Like, what time do you wake up? Do you do a morning routine? Do you eat some special kind of lunch cooked by a chef? Yeah.
It's super boring, dude. It's super boring.
Yeah, tell me. So, like today, let's say for today, what time do you wake up? What time do you? Yeah.
Listen, I run a restaurant at my house because I have 3 boys. My boys are 12, 9, and 8. We wake up about 7 a.m. I cook breakfast for my kids. My wife and I, we cook breakfast for the kids. We get them started on school. Carolina, my wife, is a dentist, and she's downstairs right now helping the kids with their homework because we're homeschooled because of COVID. So no, there's no morning routine. Okay. There's no I'm actually pretty inconsistent. Like sometimes I work out, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get back on reading, sometimes I don't. And I think and I'm not saying that your morning secrets that you do, like if you do like meditate for 10 minutes every morning, or like, that's great. And if you like write your goals down and you envision them and you like manifest stuff, like that's great for you. But I do none of those things.
I'm just like you.
Yeah. I've never been able to be consistent enough in those things. I'm not saying they're good or bad. It's just not me. But what I would like to replace that with is, and I think, Alaric, you're very much like me that way, is what drives you is not the goal writing. It's not the morning secrets. It's your mission. Like your mission, like why you're doing this webinar with me right now. It's like, why the hell are you doing this? Right. It's your mission, right? Yeah. You want to help people. You want to empower people. And that's what drives you when you wake up in the morning. Like, what are you thinking about when you wake up in the morning?
Okay, for me, I don't have a plan for my day. So sometimes I wake up at 2 p.m. Sometimes I wake up at 7 a.m. Sometimes I sleep at 7 a.m. My sleep schedule is like completely like off the, like I couldn't find a pattern. Like sometimes I stay at 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m., then 10 a.m., then I don't sleep for one whole day. So I've got no pattern at all, got no morning routine. So a lot of my clients also ask me like, what's my morning routine? I don't know, I don't have a morning routine. And but I do have a direction. And my direction is always like value creation first, followed by branding, followed by money. And then I don't want power, I don't want fame. So everything I do is based on this. I want to create value, and then anything that improves my brand, anything that makes money, and something that doesn't make me famous and doesn't make me have too much power. I don't enjoy having power. Yeah. So I have a direction just like you. Not so much a goal. I don't have a goal. I don't have a goal like, oh, how much of money I want to make. I don't have like a smart goal. I just focus on, okay, I've got this client. Okay, let's try to help her or him get to the desired result. If I can, then good. Then, yeah. So I just go from there.
I think that's when you're obsessed with your mission, there's no morning routine. There's no, it's just, you're just on to your mission. Damon John from Fubu, you know Damon John?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Damon John the Shark.
Haven't you had him on your show?
Not yet, but I have had JT Fox, Myron Golden, a few other like 9-figure entrepreneurs as well, and 8-figure, 7-figure entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you had Grant Cardone on the show as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's so cool. So I love Damon John from Fubu, because Damon, when he was building Fubu, he was obsessed with the brand. He was just going from, I'm gonna make these. He made these beanies. The first thing he made were these beanies that had the Fubu logo, and he'd go sell it on the corner of the street. Like, it wasn't sophisticated. It wasn't glamorous. And he was sewing these things. He learned how to sew, and he would sew beanies himself. And then he had his mom sewing beanies. And then he got people in his mom's house. He took his mom's house and he put a bunch of seamstress, people that were sewing in his mom's house. But for him, it was just from this to this to this. And he just kept building. I don't think he had a time for morning secrets. I don't think he had a time to read books. I don't know if he had time to do these things. All he was doing was just hustling to build his brand. And then I think he started to do some of these habits and do some of these things and improve himself. So I want entrepreneurs out there that feel bad, that like guys like you and me out there who are sort of all over the place, who sometimes are inconsistent. Find your passion. Find your passion, and that will drive you. That will wake you up in the morning. That will make you go to bed. Actually, it'll keep you up at night. You got to find your passion, and that will be your North Star.
So, okay, for $120 million, right? So is that the combined revenue of all your franchisees added together?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that is the entire company. Yes.
So they all use the same funnel. Okay, and what's the main funnel like for them to get clients?
Well, I'm sorry. So it's a little bit different because when they are getting clients, they use a lot of our funnels, but a lot of the business that they're getting is through their local communities. It's also very simple because when seniors get out of the hospital, they need help right away. And so a lot of times we're getting the business from the hospital itself or from the medical personnel. So we get business from a lot of different ways, and it's not just online. It's a lot of different ways that we find those seniors. Again, it has to do with your community involvement as well.
I see. So, but what, like for you made that award.
Oh, and by the way, I've got just another 3 minutes.
Sure. Okay. All right. Okay. So, share your social media handles. How can people follow you? Yeah.
Hey, actually what I'm fascinated about right now is Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So, are you there yet? Are you on Clubhouse?
Yeah, that's how I know about you. Yeah, from Clubhouse.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm fascinated by it, and I think there's a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs to get in there early. It's a great place to network. I've met some amazing people there. So you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can find me really easily on LinkedIn. Just type in Marcos Moura and find me. I don't even know what my handle is there. I don't really do, I don't focus much on Instagram or any other place. I focus on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But now I'm focused on Clubhouse. And so I recommend every entrepreneur to go heavy on Clubhouse.
Why is that?
What I like about Clubhouse is that it's so early, and your ability to contribute and to add value and to build your network and to become a known entity is really, really good right now on Clubhouse. It's hard, I think, on Instagram. It's hard on LinkedIn. It's hard on these other platforms that have gotten massive. Clubhouse is still really small. And Clubhouse is based on what you know really well. So if you go into Clubhouse and you share what you know really well, and there's value, people follow you, and you can build a very large following, and you can really help. So I love the platform. It's not about video. It's not about Lamborghinis. It's not about, pretty girls. It's just value. If you provide value, you get a following. And so for those of you who have always wanted a voice, who have wanted to give an impact, and you know a lot about something, Clubhouse is the place.
Okay, I know you've got only 2 minutes, but one last question. Do you bring people straight to selling a $45,000 franchise, or do you have a tripwire or some lead magnet in between, or some
really good question, man. Really good question. That is the other problem or benefit. I've got one thing to sell. I've got no tripwire. I have no book. I don't have a membership, pay me $100, pay me $1,000. No, I've got one thing and one thing only. It's a franchise.
Just one.
Franchise for 48,000. But that's a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Because when that's all you've got, you've got to be really good at selling it. Yeah. You've got to be really good at reaching the audience.
Yeah.
Because that's all I've got. Yeah, I've got one thing and one thing only. It's actually a really good question. And it's been a challenge. It's made us really good at what we do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really enjoyed myself. I'm sure the audience loves it. For those of you who like this video, make sure you like it. Comment what are the 3 main things you learned. Share this with your friends. Follow Marcos and follow him, and you can text him or anything on Instagram or LinkedIn. And I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you so much.